Page 23, the Windmill. I also got a bunch of eighth notes all over. They're introducing another new term, an Italian word, ritardando, which means gradually slow down. You can mentally picture this however you want. I think of a train coming to a gradual stop in a station, except in music, we don't come to a stop. We just do the slow down part, and that's what I think of. How much you slow down and all that, again, that's a felt thing. There's no set how much, whatever. And you could do it very quickly or you could do it very slowly. It depends on whatever the music needs. I do the slow down part when I do the tempo in the lesson. So I'll talk about it later. I look it over. I see it's 4 lines long, treble and bass clefs still, 3/4 time signature now. And I see a bunch of eighth notes, quarter notes, dotted half notes, and half notes. We can do all of that. So one hand at a time because the hands are both playing and they're both kind of busy. The right hand starts with third finger here. That puts the hand here in C position. That's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's all it is, really. Go down to the third line. You have an F sharp, so we're going fourth finger's on F, so I'm going to use it on the F sharp. And I'm just going to move it there long enough to play it. And then I come back down. 1 and 2. And again. 1, 2. And the last measure, the third line, that's an F natural. Remember, the sharp is only good for the measure it's in. It doesn't apply anywhere else. So that's an F natural. Left hand, we have thumb on C, so we're here. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. A bunch of eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Okay. Third line down, we have A and C, 2 and then G and B. And this is tricky, but we need to learn to do it. You're playing 2 notes at a time. You're just changing it back and forth 1 note. Well, you should do all the way down. Here to here. This is one of the harder things to do in piano. Do it in both hands. You can bring that right hand up here. You do it, same fingers, and then here, and then here. The idea is try and get them down at the same time. I use weight to push the notes down. I don't try and hold the hand still and use the fingers. So lower the weight on these fingers. And when I'm ready to switch, I get the fingers ready. I raise the wrist a little bit. And as I lower the wrist, I'm lowering the weight. And as I do that, I just switch fingers. So here, just switch fingers. And the weight pushes them down. Take your time with it. Try and get them down at the same time. This is something you can practice for a long time, not all in one sitting. I mean, over months or years, it gradually gets better. And that's what we're doing here in the third line. Here to here, here. Then put the hands together, and we got 1, then here, and then here. 1 and 2. Let's go down to the third line. That's the challenge. We're F sharps here. And then here. And again. And then go on. So you put the hands together and then go back over it slowly and carefully and work out the hesitations so it's a steady beat. And then go back over and make sure you can play it without looking at the keyboard. This may take a while. You may not get this in a day or two. It could take a week. Or who knows? Don't care how long it takes. I'm in no hurry. Just however long, it's fine. You see, you can be working on multiple things in the book at the same time. You don't have to just stay on this piece until you get it. You can continue to work on it and go on. Just make sure you keep working on it. Don't drop it because you went on. Keep coming back and working on it until you get it, even though you're going on. You can work on 2 or 3 things at a time. that way. It doesn't have to just be one piece at a time. Now, once you have the notes and the rhythms okay, then I think about the articulation. Here, it's connected. Lift up for the phrasing. Where are the phrases? Well, I follow the words, I guess. I think. Then lift up. Lift up. To me, really, it's like each line is a phrase. I don't like short phrases. It's choppy. But I could do each line as one phrase, so I just connect it all. And then lift up. Like taking a breath? Yeah. So I think I'm going to take this, connect each line, and then separate between the lines. The melody. The left hand, I'm going to connect it all. So at the end of the first line here, I'm lifting up in the right hand, but I'm connecting the left. It's like the last eighth note was by, I just put in an eighth rest or something. Now at the end of the second line, that's melody in the left hand. Now I need to lift up because I want silence when it's a new phrase. And that'll be both hands. At the end of the third line, the fermatas, you're holding that out, I would still lift up here, but I'm going to connect the left hand. You don't have to. There's different ways of interpreting that. I'll come back to that a little later. Then the dynamics. MF is mezzo forte or sort of loud. That's the melody. Whatever you think sort of loud is. This left hand needs to be soft. Third line, soft here. The left hand is very soft. Hang on to the fermata, and then when you're ready, go on, and it's back up to moderately loud like you were at the beginning. Then I think about the speed. Andante, remember, is a casual stroll. Yeah. The eighth notes will slow it down a little bit, but not too much, because then the quarter notes would drag. Somewhere, just a nice leisure pace is fun. Then in the third line, the last two measures, you see the ritardando, and they've spread it out. They don't need to spread it out. It's okay, it helps, I guess. We're just going to gradually slow down. The last two measures then. I slowed down, kind of blended into that hold. Yeah, so the third line with the... And then in the last line, you see the MF, there's an off tempo. The MF has to do with the dynamics. The off tempo is what I'm after. And that means resume the speed you were going before you changed it. We changed it when we slowed down. We slowed down. Now we're going to go back to whatever, however fast we were going before that. That's what it is. It may or may not be the first tempo with the piece, because pieces can change tempos, so be careful. This just means that whatever speed you were going before you slowed down, use that. Then once I have all that, then I might think a little bit about interpretation with the natural accents. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Feel these. 1, 2, 3. I exaggerated so you can hear it better. Just feel these. And the ritardando, how much you slow down, that's interpretation. Now you feel it. The fermata, how long do you hold it? That's interpretation. You feel it. If I play it with a metronome, I'll add one extra count to the end of beats, to the end of the last measure here. One extra count, and then I go on because I need to stay with the metronome. But when you're playing it, you just feel it. measure, the fermata, again, just hold those out as long as you think feels right. With the metronome, I'll hold the half note out 4 counts instead of 2. I just double the value. That's how I do it. You don't have to do it that way. There's a note at the bottom of this. If you're playing this in a recital, you can make it last longer because maybe that's too short. Maybe not. Maybe that's long enough and you're done. You can play that and get out of there, right? Otherwise, maybe you want to play a little longer. And they give you some ideas. Well, play it twice. And the second time you play it, take both hands up. So when you're done, just lift up and come. Just pretend middle C went up. And you're up here. You just come up. Take your time coming up. Here. Yeah. And then if you want, the last line, you can play it twice, just for emphasis. So it's like, okay, I played it once, and then I go back up and I play it all again up here. And then the last line after I play it, then maybe I play it again, just for emphasis. If I do that, I would suggest, what they're telling you, play it very slowly. It's like an afterthought. You're just kind of dreaming. You can even put in a ritardando there if you want. It's all interpretation. Everybody would play it a little different, and that's the beauty of it. We don't want everybody playing it exactly the same. Don't copy me. You feel the music. You get into it. Let's play it together very slowly. Now, this is after you can play the notes and rhythms correctly. No hesitations. I'll hold the fermatas out, whatever the double value is. I can't slow down. The metronome won't slow down, but I'll give us 3 counts because there's 3 beats in a measure. 1 and ready and go and. Hold. Two, 3, hold. 2,